Not a week goes by where I'm not asked how to deal with imposter syndrome, especially when people are in the early stages of their business. And I've got 2 scripts written about this exact topic, and I have resisted recording them because I haven't been happy with them, but I think I've just figured out why. And it's to do with the fact that I don't think people ever really get rid of it. It's always there. So to talk about it like there's a way to eliminate imposter syndrome from your life, that itself is a lie. Because the only people who really eliminate imposter syndrome completely, these people are frauds. The ones that concern themselves with being honest and truthful are the ones that don't need to concern themselves as much, whereas the ones that should think about this a bit more often, they're the ones that are freely giving away lies and mistruths. But still, we need to understand how to deal with imposter syndrome because it's something that we always face. Every week, we're putting things out into the world, we're putting content out there, and we're representing our business. So how do we present ourselves to the world in a way that is confident without falling prey to imposter syndrome? Because let's face it, unshakable confidence is like a unicorn attribute. It's like the closest thing that we have to a cheat code to attract the friends we want, the money we want, the business we want, basically the life that we want. But what about when the most famous advice to fake it till you make it? What if that's actually terrible advice? In fact, what about if most advice people get about how to get more confidence is actually giving them less confidence? And what if the road to confidence has already been discovered? It's just that it's paved with hard work. Would you still want it then? So let's disqualify the stuff that kind of works and focus on the one thing that actually is guaranteed to work. Because once you know this, you'll be able to tap into it whenever you feel like your confidence is lagging. And that's the difference between people who are genuinely strong in their own abilities and those that come across fake or arrogant. And before this video wraps, I'm going to give you some examples of how this plays out, both in personal life and in business. Oh, and by the way, if you're new here, my name is Pat. I've been making YouTube videos here for about 6 months, documenting my process for how to get customers coming to you. All right, so we have a spectrum. On one end, we have imposter syndrome. On the other end, we have unshakable confidence. And when you meet someone with unshakable confidence, it's unmistakable. These people ooze confidence. But how did they get that way? Can we reproduce it? Well, the first thing you'll discover is that these people wholeheartedly believe that they're better than average. It's not something they have to tell themselves. They genuinely believe that they're pretty damn good. And this is where fake it till you make it just falls over, because while it might be a neat hack to sort of get confidence to be able to speak to somebody or open up a conversation, if you spend any time around people who have actual substance, you'll quickly realize they see straight through it. The charade falls apart, and sometimes with embarrassing consequences. And this is what everyone's trying to avoid. When I was a professional singer, I was asked to help at a local music school to take some singing students. And as people started singing live in front of people, they all encountered the same huge problem, this imposter syndrome, this lack of confidence. See, singing is not like any other instrument, because when you open your mouth to sing, the time delay between what you feel and what people hear is nanoseconds. You're quite literally wearing your heart on your sleeve. If you think about the best singers in the world, we hear and feel the raw emotion. But when you get up and you hold the microphone and you're about to sing, there's all this stuff that gets in the way. We get up in our head and people hear that. And when you're watching, this lack of confidence comes across and it feels cringy. You feel secondhand embarrassment for the person. It's one instance where a lack of confidence literally makes the singer sound terrible. There's no hiding it. There's no faking it. So this is a real life example of how to push away imposter syndrome and how to get confidence lived out in a real world experience. So my students would come to me after their first experience when they realize, oh, this is a real challenge. This is a real problem. They'd come and they'd ask, Pat, how do I get real confidence when I'm singing on stage? And my answer applies right now with you and your business and the things you're working on day to day, just as much as it does when you're trying to learn how to sing on stage. The solution is simple, but it's not easy. It's simple because anyone can do it. And as you do it more, the confidence grows and it becomes magnetic. It's unmistakable. It's intoxicating. And it opens doors for you that were previously shut. But it's not easy because there is no shortcut. So here it is. The most bulletproof way to develop unshakable confidence is just to become fucking good. You practice, you do the work, you put in the time, you do the reps, you eliminate the gray area. You work so diligently behind the scenes that onlookers can chart your progress, not actually knowing what it is you're doing. And you keep at it until people start coming to you for advice. But even then you don't stop. You challenge yourself, you test yourself, you raise the stakes, you work harder, and you develop a competency that sets you apart. No one in any endeavor who does what I've just described lacks confidence in their field of expertise or any area of life that they want to feel good in. Take this quote by Goggins. You don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt. But this brings us to the point where I was resistant to make this video, because even when you reach master levels of skill and ability, people are still hit with imposter syndrome. And I think this comes down to what top-level athletes and performers, there's something that they talk about, you're only ever as good as your last game, or you're only ever as good as your last show. So when you come off stage and you had a bad show, you feel terrible and you think, I should quit, there's no point going on anymore. Conversely, you come off from a great show, even if you didn't perform that well, but if you feel like you've had a great experience, you will feel on top of the world. You'll have incredible confidence. So how do we practically navigate this? Is there a way we can push away this imposter syndrome? And I think there is. Because I notice for myself, if I haven't been doing the work, that's when imposter syndrome can sneak in. So perhaps like pursuing happiness, there's not a place that you actually reach where you finally go, I've made it, I'm finally happy. But anybody who talks about happiness, it's a journey. It's in the doing and the changing and the learning and the growing that you feel happy. You experience happiness. I think it's exactly the same here. So the work you need to do is you're trying to get to a place where you're just fucking awesome at the thing that you're trying to do. You're just so competent. So the work you do is you're going to skill up. That's what you do. And if you start to get pulled down because I'm inadequate, I've got imposter syndrome, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where I'm going, I think that only really rears its head when you're going through a period of time where you're not actively getting better, you're not actively learning and trying and striving. Because when you are trying and striving, when you are learning and getting better, when you are facing the facts that I've just learned something new today, I've just tried something and I'm better than I was at the start of the day. When you're in that place, you feel incredible. And when you're in that place, you have unshakable confidence. Now, I want to give you some examples and I'm going to teach them on the board. Let's say you want confidence to be able to walk into any room and be magnetic. Well, there are plenty of things you can do that will add to your confidence. There's hacks, there's ways to make you fake it until you make it. There's all kinds of tricks. But suppose you treat it like a project and just simply set your sights on just becoming the best fucking version of yourself that you can imagine. In that case, the things you would work on would be, for example, you'd practice consistency by working on your body. You'd develop discipline by taking control of your diet. You'd build self-respect by keeping the promises you make to yourself. You'd work on your mind. You'd work on your conversation skills. You'd work on your patience. You'd be putting in the effort. All the while, your confidence is being built one hard-earned, rock-solid layer at a time until you are socially magnetic because you are incredibly confident in yourself. Hardly anyone is born with it. You become this way because of your own making. Now, let's bring it back to business. If you don't have enough clients or customers or whatever you call them, it's very likely that your marketing sucks. Therefore, if your marketing sucks, you're either not getting enough attention or you don't know how to convert that attention into leads and sales. Both these symptoms, they both point to your content, whether it's organic content or whether you're leveraging paid traffic to that content. And when your content sucks, you will have low confidence in the areas that matter, and your market can smell this. You'll have low confidence of where your next leads are coming from. You'll have low confidence where your next sales conversations are coming from, and low confidence of where next month's cash flow is coming from. This lack of confidence keeps you timid. It stops you from leaning in. It stops you from showing the world that you have what it takes, that you're actually an expert in your field. It just basically keeps you on the sidelines. Now, let me give you a quick practical example. Maybe you're trying to get clients by posting on social media, but for whatever reason, it's not working. Now, I've helped so many people over the years with their social media, and it shocks me to this day how many people struggle to get traction with their social media, yet haven't even spent the $9 or $20 or $30 on a basic social media course. So they'd rather half-ass it and copy from people who also don't know what they're doing and suffer the pain of getting no attention and not being looked at as an authority, than just use their next burger and fries money, purchase a course and level up their skill, and then get rewarded with the confidence of a powerful lead generation source. Or another example, let's say you don't like social media and you use email instead, but for whatever reason, people aren't opening your emails. It doesn't take a genius to realize this, but perhaps your subject lines just suck. So that's why no one's clicking and opening your email. Now, you can keep wallowing in mediocrity, stumbling and wandering around in the dark, looking for that next hack that you can grow your email list because you've got some belief that you think your email list is dead, or You can take it upon yourself to write 30 email subject lines every day for 30 days in a row until you start to become so fucking good at subject lines that people can't help but open your emails, that your open rates skyrocket. And when it comes to your next promotion, you're going to have the confidence that when you start talking about it, people are going to open it, people are going to buy. See, sometimes the solution is directly to skill up, to get better. But then there are other situations where your lack of confidence comes from not knowing what to do. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what to fix. So let me give you this final example. And this example is very common. Many people find themselves in business almost exclusively always having to do outreach style marketing. These people rarely get inbound leads. And if they do, it's a referral here and there, but rarely from actual strangers. And this makes business hard. I find most people in this situation rarely know how to build inbound lead flow. This causes a lack of confidence month after month because the business doesn't have its own momentum, that it can reach higher levels of success, more sales, more customers, without the business owner creating a business that they resent. This kind of pressure can be brutal. It drains any sense of confidence you've got that you're building a business that you're going to actually love. So here, the problem isn't a skill problem. The problem is a knowledge problem because you don't know what you don't know. And this manifests itself daily in not taking action. The reason why people don't take action isn't because they don't know what to do, usually. It's because they're not confident in the plan. They're not confident that the thing they think they're going to have to do today is going to be worth the effort, that the juice is worth the squeeze. So to get to a place where you have the confidence that the plan you're working is solid, you want to commit yourself to research mode until one of two things happens. One, you see the path forward and you know the skill you need to work on so you can climb up. Or two, you find somebody else who's done it before and you can enlist their help. One takes more time than money, the other one takes more money than time. But either path requires you to take action to move away from a position of weakness and ignorance, and instead towards the place where unshakable confidence lives, and that is a place of competency and mastery. Now, if you want to stick a rocket down the front of your business pants, add your name to the Growth Accelerator waitlist below. Otherwise, this next video is about what it's like to start a YouTube channel and the effect it's had on my business and my life. I'll see you in the next video.